Hey everybody, I'm Elysia Buss, host of Horsepower Empowerment Through Connection, coming to you live with Charles Clay on this beautiful, gorgeous day. And it's just fantastic. So Charles is located in, was it Longmont?
It's Lakeway.
Lakeway.
Yeah,
Well, see, at least
Lakeway,
I got the
Texas.
L right. I mean, like I didn't completely, I was thinking like Longhorn, Texans, and then I was like, no, that's not it. And then
Yep.
no, and Lake.
Exactly the same, but way different.
Exactly. I mean, it's fantastic. And so Charles is also originally, like me, a Washingtonian, which
It's
is
true.
probably part of the reason he's so cool and why we're so excited to get to have him on the show. And then he transplanted around, into California and then Texas, and he's got like this epic wife and this adorable little munchkin. So, I mean, I guess we're going to let him have a free pass there, but well, Charles, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here. I'm always happy to jump on with a fellow Washingtonian for sure.
You're very welcome. So you have had a lot of stuff going on over at your place. Like I've seen a bunch of videos and you've been doing some really cool men's retreats, right?
Yeah, it's been a powerhouse of amazing activities and service and fun and a whole mix of all the things.
Yeah, I think I even saw somebody that was like kind of used to be famous that was at one of your men's retreats. We don't have to say any names, but it was kind of cool. I was like, man, I haven't seen that guy in forever. That's cool.
Yeah, there's been a lot of meeting of brilliant minds and connecting of hearts with some epic superheroes, especially since I've moved to near Austin. It's just been a serious vortex for amazing game changers, visionaries, just people doing incredible things in the world. And it's fun because it's the time to collaborate and co-create the golden age as we're moving forward.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I mean, Austin has always been just like this epicenter of creativity, I feel like, for like music and just empowerment in general, just all sorts of cool things, but really music and dance. Yeah, it's a beautiful.
I had no idea it was so green here. I'm like, literally, we bought a house and I walked down the road and we have like epic green trails and streams and waterfalls like right in our backyard essentially, and and then the lake nearby too. So it's been fun to explore. I'm loving it here.
That's cool. How long have you guys been there for now?
We just moved here in February.
So you guys are like new to the area.
Yep.
You're like, I sense the world is going to go nuts. Let's go to a new place. It'll be nice.
We literally landed here, like, boom, just closed on the place and moved. While we were in Cabo, we had our stuff moved here, and it couldn't have worked out smoother in order for us to land and get settled. And we were already planning on quarantining with a newborn and with my wife and I and our little pup. So it was nice of the rest of the world to join us in quarantine and nesting mode.
You're like, I really we didn't want to feel so alone in the process. And so like, just taking one for the team. It's amazing. Right? Like the level of dedication you guys have to our as part of the community.
We do what we can.
So with all of that, with COVID, did you notice yourself like really transitioning in your business, or were you already in a certain space and you just kind of like stayed the course, or did you pivot?
I'm always open to pivots. And it's interesting looking back, like how I was intuitively changing more of my business to be online and for location freedom and to be able to reach and help more people. So that just worked out really nicely with the timing. And, who knows, maybe Zoom's behind the whole COVID because they're just really taking off with this. And I've been on more Zoom calls than
the people that bought stock, and they're like, listen, like stock's been kind of low. Could like we do some sort of like pandemic? We really need to up our stocks. And they're like, boom, oh my God, it actually worked. Jesus.
Right. So yeah, it's been glorious. And always open to pivots, like I think anywhere that I'm trying to hold on tight or need things to go a certain way and trying to control things, it like really shows up in my system really quick. And then it's reminding me like, hey, how can I loosen my grip here? And the one thing we can control is our attitude. And so I like to marinate in an attitude of gratitude and then steer the ship accordingly.
I'm with you, my friend. Excitement. Makes life so much easier to just live in a space of gratitude and the ability to be flexible, because you never know what life is going to hand you.
Right. One thing we can't count on is change, and we've been experiencing a lot of it.
That is for sure.
There's always been uncertainty, and now it's just like being highlighted. You know, it's like, oh yeah, there is uncertainty, and in that lies this beautiful mystery of life, right?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
how graceful we can move through these transitions and see the golden and silver linings beneath it all.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of them so far. Have you noticed?
Yeah, definitely for me. And I've talked to a lot of people who've really taken these opportunities and run with it and just been open to the ability to pivot and change and collaborate with really amazing people that they otherwise would not have really had the opportunity to collaborate with. I mean, we're really expanding our range right now, which is so phenomenal. And I know there's a lot of like negative things happening out there in the world, but there's also a tremendous amount of positive change that's happening out in the world, and people are really stepping up to the plate, which is part of the reason I love having people like you on my show, so that we can highlight those things that are happening that are really empowering for other people. So thanks again for getting to be here. And
absolutely.
Speaking of that, we've got Mr. Jonathan London on here saying, I want to be on your show one day. I love this. Keep rocking, Charles. So thank you so much, Jonathan. And yes, you will absolutely be on the show, my friend, because you too are out there empowering other people in the world and kicking some serious tail. So tell us more about the programs that you're running, Charles, and then we'll segue into like our cool activity we get to do today.
Yeah, so a lot of my work has been refining some of the deep healing inner work and coming back to our natural state of inner peace and joy. And so what perfect timing for a catastrophic crisis and pandemic to hit the world and allow us to utilize these amazing tools. One of which is right under our nose the whole time, the power of breath. And so I've been fortunate to get to help some amazing beings move through anxiety, overwhelm, self-doubt, and into a place of full alignment with their purpose and tapping into that place of inner peace.
Fantastic. Who have you got there?
That's Winston. He's fired up.
He wants to chirp in. Yeah. He's like, let me tell you about breath. So I'm going to bark.
He's enthusiastic.
Oh my God. I want to like jump through the screen right now.
I got a lot to say about that.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he's a lover.
Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you for sharing him with us momentarily. What exactly is his breed? In case anybody wants to like suddenly go and buy a dog that looks just like him. That wouldn't be me at all. No.
Yeah, so that just scratches the surface. I've been doing some deep work in the greatest technology on the planet, really. We think it's these smartphones and these computers we're on, but we forget sometimes that it's these human bodies that we get to call home for such a short time.
Yeah.
That really optimizing, the connection with mind, body, soul, and we do that through a number of ways. Neurokinetic therapy has been a really powerful practice and tool for me for helping get answers from the body really fast.
Nice.
As to moving through aches, pains, and injuries, and understanding the root cause and how to clear those with this muscle testing technique that's really profound.
Yes, I love muscle testing.
Mm-hmm.
Been using that for a long time.
Yeah, so muscle testing has saved myself and my clients so much money in supplements that you don't need, foods that aren't good for you. Like the list goes on and on.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like getting out of here and checking in with the higher intelligence within each and every cell of our being to see if something makes us stronger or weaker. and
Mhm.
so it's a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely saved my life when I was younger. I was really sick, and there weren't any doctors that could figure out what was wrong with me. And I went to my chiropractor, and she did muscle testing and muscle tested me on supplements. And for years, that's how I've helped to repair my body, is through supplements and muscle testing.
Hmm.
And she figured out what was wrong with me and repaired my body. And then I stopped having ulcers at the age of 15. And like,
Amazing.
yeah, and just felt so much better and had energy and yeah, all sorts of different things. So yes, go child.
Yes, congratulations. Isn't it amazing how all of our greatest challenges and adversities bring forth some of our greatest gifts, talents, and
Absolutely.
passions, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So knowing that makes it a lot easier as you're confronting challenges and adversity, and seeing it as an opportunity for growth is, again, that one thing that we can control, our attitude about it. And so I always like to turn on our reticular activation,
Hmm.
retina, the lens at which we see our reality, activating with the power of intention to seeing and experiencing those golden linings, silver linings beneath the challenges, beneath the struggles, you know, the areas where we get stuck. And in that journey, I've been able to refine down an inner peace process involved with emotional intelligence that's just been a really very simple and effective and profound method for getting to the root cause of trapped emotions that are recreating patterns that we see a lot. And it's oftentimes addictive patterns.
Mm.
The old consuming more than creating. And that used to be me a decade ago. And so this was my journey and my initiation. And now it's such a gift to be able to share a shortcut into that process, and really empower people to make powerful choices and establish more self-trust and confidence and integrity as they go through the self-healing journey. And it's been profound. Like, really, this process is such a powerful tool because you're associating the intelligence of your body, noticing where these emotions come up, and then rooting it back to where it originated from, which is connecting to a version of our inner child,
Hmm.
and then getting to reparent, send some love there where it's needed most, and support that aspect of ourself, those parts of us that we usually don't want to look at or we avoid.
Yep.
And those are usually at the root of the patterns that keep showing up in our experience that are causing either anxiety or struggle or just, frustration. And so it's been really profound. And then you can get to a state of just witnessing as you unravel that and learn the lessons from it, that the body begins to just metabolize that energy that's been stuck for so long. And it's a beautiful thing to witness, both of myself and with my clients, because it's like pulling off a huge layer of armor that's just been weighing you down, and
Yeah.
then under that weight is just like, woo, feeling super tapped in, tuned in, turned on, and feeling the same energy that creates planets flowing to you and through you.
Yeah. It's
And
amazing.
it's so good. It's
The
like
best
tapping
feeling.
back into that natural state. And it's like one body can't even contain all that feel good
So
bliss energy. So you got to share it.
yeah.
It's like,
Oh, for sure.
fill your cup and then fill many more.
Yeah.
So that's just a little glimpse into what I've been up to.
Can you talk about how profound it is? Can you share a story or two really quick about a shift that you've seen in somebody or yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, one client was in a pretty rough spot. He was dealing with addictions. He was kind of in between homes, um, and also was out of a job at that time. He just lost his job. So although it looked like, the worst chapter of his life unfolding, he had the courage to reach out for support. And we connected. He followed his intuition, saw a post, and then we took him through this process, and within 8 weeks, he literally like landed his dream house with an amazing community. He was able to tap into his confidence and trust and get and really ignite his passion, which he'd been hiding, which was stand-up comedy. And so coaching him through that, he's been doing stand-up comedy now every month on stage.
That's awesome. I love
for
it.
any of you, that have done that, know it takes some serious confidence, courage, and huevos. So, and then of course I remember him sending us in the group, an amazing panoramic view of his view from his new job that he landed his dream job. So it's just like clearing out what's in the way of whatever's blocking us. And a lot of times it's subconscious. So it's hard for us to see those blind spots. And so that's why this work is really so profound, because you can see shifts so fast when you do the inner work. Creates an entirely different experience. You're letting go of the old patterns that no longer serve, the old belief systems that aren't up to date. And it's like pulling out weeds from the garden that no longer, belong there, and then planting some new seeds for aligning with your true purpose. And so it's been just this level of like deep fulfillment from this work, just witnessing, the impact that it has on clients, that it's like, something much more rich than any money amount or, monetary bank account could measure. Really, it's like this deep confirmation of like, yes, this is the way. This is
that's beautiful.
What we're meant here to do.
Yeah, just help as many as we can.
Mm-hmm. So it's been profound. You asked about part of my journey, like first diving into this work. I had a very common deep wound that I was working through with abandonment, right? So all the way back to 4 years old, one of the very first memories that I had was my mom leaving. And this is the woman that I love the most. And trying to explain to a 4-year-old about divorce and like why she's leaving and I might not see her again for a while. It was that aspect, that part of me had no idea how to deal with that. And so that would keep showing up in my experience, right? As, I'd fall in love and meet my dream girl. And then subconsciously, I was pushing them away. I was doing things to like sabotage the relationship, like very subtle things that I didn't even realize at the time. And that was to continue the perpetuation of the abandonment story. So that eventually they would leave. And then here I was replaying that story again. And so that's kind of how it showed up to me until I started doing this inner work. And as I unraveled that and began reestablishing where that was residing in my body, that energy, and then going back to being there for my 4-year-old. And at first he was like, I don't even like, what do you mean? You want to like talk to me now? Like you left me here, he was like really upset. And so rightfully so. And so that work over time, just being patient with him and reconnecting with him and allowing him to move through that, knowing he was supported, safe, and loved. And then eventually when I would meditate and tune in, he would be like at the art table, like really excited to show me like what he was creating, which was really exciting to go from, hiding behind the wall, frustrated and pissed off, didn't want to talk, to all of a sudden, he's out of that loop. And then how that transpired in my life was then as I worked through that issue, I was able to get really clear on what I wanted and took space from dating and like sat with loneliness, and like really sat with the depths of loneliness and like watched my mind, seeing my body going, hey, this is really uncomfortable. Like we have all these programs to not feel this, like just go do something or go to the fridge or go drink some alcohol or go watch Netflix, anything not to feel this because it's so uncomfortable. And I literally just watched all the programs that I call it the Pac-Man program, right? Of like trying to consume instead of create. And so as I sat with that, and it was very uncomfortable, I found, you know, at the depths of that loneliness lied this beautiful golden nugget. And it was like this, you know, epiphany of like, wow, if I'm by myself finally. And I remember recalling a very wise man saying that the root of all suffering in mankind is one's inability to sit with oneself. And so I remember that quote, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just sit here a little bit longer then, instead of needing to call someone, or, you know, needing to do breath work or use my amazing tools, just like sitting with it and being with that. And then of course it passes. And under that was this golden nugget of like, man, I love having time to myself. Like now if I have time to myself, that means I have time to bust out this list of things I want to create, and like all these amazing things I want to do while I'm here in this life. And so it was this huge inspired action to create programs just like the one I'm doing now. And so, you know, it was really, I found that helped me put on a lens of curiosity towards every emotion. And really like, why are we trying to resist this? You know, we're in the human experience, we get to feel the full spectrum. So there's gifts.
Good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, there's gifts even in the heaviest of emotions. So that's really been a lot of my journey, my initiation, and then become my work, because it's just profound and has such amazing results that can shift one's life in such a short time that it's really remarkable. And then of course, you know, freeing up that energy and then getting clear and using some of my tantric practices to send sexual energy to my queen that I hadn't even met physically yet. I was just connecting with her energetically, was profound, because that energy gets there faster than FedEx. and before you knew it, I said no to the old patterns, created space, and then called her in. And,
sorry, that was just really funny.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what everybody wants, right?
Mm-hmm. And then meeting my queen, enjoying that, you know, our two
That
worlds
beautiful
colliding.
connection of you and your wife.
Oh my gosh. That has literally like, it's like these two universes coming together, and then just channeling that energy into like all of our dreams have just been coming true, like boom, 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 even in the midst of all this so-called chaos, you know, where there's like, yeah, we feel the hit of anxiety here and there, and recognize that it's showing me something of where I have a tight grip on needing things to go a certain way. And then we come back to this inner peace process, and then we're fully enjoying life again and having vacation vibration while in the midst of a crisis. So
that's so cool. I'm curious too, because like you helped manifest this person, the energy that you were sending her. So like when you first met, like, was it just this like magnetic experience? And then like, how long, like, did you, having been in that headspace between you, when you met and when you actually got married? I'm just curious, like, how much time was that?
Yeah, it was profound. I mean, we literally, I was sending her energy, and then she reached out to me on Facebook, and then we had like short conversations via Messenger, and then got her on the phone, and we had like over hour-long conversations, about 2 or 3 of those, that just felt like super refreshing to hear this queen sharing in her first conversation that she's looking for her king, she's ready, you know, to start a family, and like all these things that normally would have scared me off. And instead it was like, wow, that's really refreshing to hear you being so honest and upfront, because that's what I'm calling in. And so it was just this really like, it was almost like catching up on what we've been up to in this lifetime after meeting in past. And so our first time meeting, flew her out to San Diego, and you know, she walked over to the car from the airport, and we didn't even talk. Like there wasn't even any words needed. I just went and embraced her, and we started making out and had this incredible electric kiss. And like, it was kind of like, man, words could only take away from this moment. And so it was you know, like one of those like Hollywood love stories. And then we were doing the long distance thing. She was in the Bay Area, I was in Encinitas, and we were going back and forth like every week. It was ridiculous, and kept changing our flights to push them back a day or two. Thank God for Southwest. And and then that blossomed into this really accelerated, you know, deeper healing, more attuned with what it is we both want to create, and channeling sex magic into, you know, landing a house that we wanted, a beautiful wedding, baby. Like, I mean, sweet Sophia has been like literally a dream come true. Just, she's such an angel in human form that's like blowing our minds and opening our hearts in new ways every day. So it's been profound, you know. And that's not to say like that came with a whole great deal of resistance, you know, going through all those initiations, next level of commitment, even marriage. You know, we each had our own stuff. We went into it like, oh yeah, I don't really, you know, agree with modern day marriage. And, you know, we both kind of came at it from that and from our experiences. And then as we rose higher in love, we began creating our own relationship of what marriage looks like. Because, you know, my dad had been married 3 times and divorced 3 times, and God bless, because it was amazing. All incredible women that he had, you know, so many kids with, and my siblings are amazing. So it's all been a blessing. And yet I got to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and the statistics on marriage. And so I got to unravel and work through that resistance in moving to the next stage of commitment, which every time we go through that initiation, it was just like, like new levels, new glass ceilings just get broken through, like new levels of bliss, pleasure, intimacy, all the good stuff is like, you know, it's like life is a series of contractions and expansions. And so if you have the courage to like work through those contractions together, then there's just amazing expansion awaiting on the other end. So it's been quite a blissful experience and initiations into even fatherhood, you know, which has been my highest honor so thus far.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's,
absolutely. There's the fam right there.
Isn't that precious, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, just look at the love there. Just heaven.
It's my favorite mug, of course.
Of course. So my friend, what have you got for us today for our activity for inner peace? And
yes, I would love to share something so simple and so easy that you can do it anywhere. It's literally just a simple tool right under our nose, the power of breath. It's a pranayama 4-8 breath. So it's very simple. Focus on your navel and visualize like a balloon expanding to your entire being. So instead of, you know, you tell people to take a deep breath, you see this a lot of times.
Oh, right? Yeah, like for sure.
Vertical breathers, or you see like, you know, like the chest or the belly breathers. So this is like really expanding in every direction, even your backside. And so we'll breathe in for 4 seconds through the nose, and then you'll exhale for 8 seconds through the mouth. Okay. And before you do that, just check in, closing your eyes on where you're at in this current moment. So if you close your eyes and just scan your body, bringing your attention inward, and just notice where you're at in this current moment. What sensations are coming up, what feelings, any emotions, just scanning from head to toe, and then bringing your attention to your overall state, your nervous system. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 would be fight or flight mode, complete anxiety, and 1 would be complete inner peace, Zen. And just notice what number on that scale comes to heart where you're at now. There's no wrong answers. And feel free to share. You can put it in the comments, just seeing where you're at in the current moment. I've been at 11 before, so there's no sweat. And then Where are you at?
I feel like
What
I'm at
number?
like a solid 4. I'm doing pretty good in this moment.
Good.
Pretty happy.
So then we'll introduce, keeping your eyes closed, this breath. So you can focus inward more, and you expand the epicenter of your belly, inhaling for 4 seconds. Inhale, expand for 4, 3, 2, 1. Just a little pause at the top, and then exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Repeat that, expanding even more. Inhale for 4. Hold at the top, and then exhale for 8. All the way to empty, just feeling like a release valve. Good. We'll do 2 more. Inhaling for 4. Feel your breath expand beyond your body. And then exhale, just letting all your weight drop. Just feeling the sensation of gravity, allowing everything to drop towards the earth. All the way to empty. Good. Last one. Inviting in pleasure in your intention on this inhale. Just igniting each and every cell in your being with pleasure, intention of inner peace. Hold that at the top. Just feel it. And then exhale, releasing to empty for 8 seconds. All the way to empty. And then as you naturally resume your natural breath, just tune in once again to your internal state and that scale of your nervous system. Notice 1 through 10. 10 is fight or flight. 1 is inner peace. What number comes to heart now?
2.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say peace sign. Nice. So even coming down 2 notches towards inner peace in a matter of 4 breaths is profound. And so you can utilize this simple technique whenever you're noticing anxious energy or stress or tension. Used to be for me in my car. I would like wait till the last minute to get to work, and then I'd be flying like a race car driver. And this was after I was cutting out coffee and all the stimulants and stuff. And I was finding a way to get my adrenaline fix. And so, right, maybe some of you can relate. And so recognizing that, then I began utilizing this practice, and I got really good with it. So I was doing like 10-second inhalations and 20-second exhales. And so while I'm in the car, it becomes my super like Zen sanctuary. And I'm like the most peaceful, guy on the road, people cutting me off and stuff. I'm like waving hi.
Hey, you're like, that's cool, guys. Like,
yeah. We got somewhere to be, man. Go for it. And so that's been a game changer. Another great time to use that practice is right before you eat, right? To help calm the nervous system into rest and digest mode so that we can assimilate that energy even better and allow our bodies to digest not only our food, but our experiences, and slowing everything down so that we can feel what we get to heal and really enjoy each bite like a food connoisseur, and take your time with it. Life is a ceremony, so we can incorporate that presence and that appreciation into, every meal as well and every interaction.
yeah, like with your partner.
Exactly.
What a beautiful experience that must be.
It is. It's incredible. We feel super blessed, and it's inspiring to help share with others. We've broke it down, our whole process of how we created our relationship, into 6 easy steps to manifesting your dreams with ease. And so this is one of the exciting codes I've been sharing in one of the recent programs that we've created. So it's fun.
That's really cool. So you say that we've created. So do you do the work with your wife?
Yeah. So
with other people, or is it just you and you two have 2 different businesses, or?
Yeah, we've both had our own businesses, and then we're also joining forces for our relationship, which is coming to a computer near you. And yeah, that's what we've been working on, and that's been our highest excitement together. And so stay tuned for that as well. And I continue with my empowered group trainings and the one-on-one coaching work, which is super profound. And then I'll be coming out with a laser focused productivity method as well. That's been so profound for helping people cut through distractions and actually getting into flow state with your get to do list.
Nice.
Instead of like dreading it. It's a great, it's a great method for moving through procrastination and creating more than you're consuming. So excited to get that out.
Nice. And then you do specific like men's groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there might be some people watching that aren't familiar with men's groups and might have like certain like stereotypes about what that might look like. So can you break through some of those for us just real quick?
Yeah. So we have a men's mastermind, which we meet, and it's like bringing a sacred circle into a high-tech place of Zoom and creating that container for deep healing, full expression. Everybody gets to be seen, felt, heard. And just by speaking and sharing your truth, it's like burning it in the sacred fire to where it creates a really powerful healing container. And that's just one aspect of it. And then I have the entire empowered men's group training, which has just been profound. That's like the client I mentioned earlier. That was one example of that eight-week program with the roadmap to self-mastery. So,
that's fantastic. I'm so grateful. I've been hearing about more and more men around the world and definitely in our country that have been focused on providing the space for men to step into and get to like heal those old wounds and have a safe container to work within and feel both like that sacred masculine and feminine, and understanding that life is a balance between both of those energies for all human beings, regardless of gender. So
absolutely.
It's
and finding
so
that
grateful.
balance internally first, that the Tao, like the way between, it's where we have the most potential energy is in that dance between doing and being, right? And so
Absolutely.
A lot of us have been programmed to be doing so much that becomes our addiction. And then we're not actually taking time to feel. And then when you do pause and take a moment, then all of a sudden it's like this huge wave of emotions because it's been stored up for a long time. So as you get good at this process, these type of tools help you release those stuck emotions, unravel that energy from issues in our tissues, and then freeing up more energy to focus clearly on what it is you want to do and remembering why you're here. So it's been profound. Yeah, it's exciting to see. Been really amazed with the men that have had the courage to step up for this work, and even the women, that have been called to doing this work because, it takes courage. It's a lot of people will stay stuck for a long time just because they're afraid to actually ask for help.
Yeah,
and
they're
I
afraid of
know
judgment.
because that was my program back in the day, Charles 1.0. I was like, no, I'm having a tough time. I'm just going to go off to my man cave and like process this on my own and like, wear this badge of honor of like doing it the grit way. Whereas like there's so much help and shortcuts and accelerate and collapse time with just reaching out for help and gaining the resources, working with a coach that you feel inspired and aligned to work with. And it's profound. It's amazing. So I honor everyone that's doing that inner work right now. It's an amazing journey and it's always worth it. And so,
always worth it. Yes. Yeah. Even when it's really, really, really uncomfortable. Because we've all been there.
Right. And that's the good stuff. Like the more uncomfortable it gets, the more you're opening to a greater deal of expansion on the other end. So it's like everything is temporary. So if you can just sit with it even a little bit longer past that uncomfortability, you build that internal resilience and then the confidence and the self-trust that you can get through anything because you've proven it, and so then we don't need to be in a stress state all the time, dealing with stuck in our heads, operating from panic mode and fight or flight, where we forget how to access where the true magnetism's at, our heart space, where we all really connect. This is like 5,000 times electromagnetic than our mind alone. So it's like combining this heart with your mind in coherence is where the magic happens. This is how it's easy to get into flow states and really step into being a creator for the greater good of all, because that's the foundation that everything has to be built on moving forward. We're becoming really clear on that. Anything, any systems, any corporations, any businesses that are built on a foundation with even an ounce of greed or only in it for money over the health and well-being of others or the earth included, we're starting to see that just crumbling like a house of cards. And we get to learn from that. And so that's why I love creating win-win-win situations and allowing us to move forward together. We're all on Team Earth, so we don't need to waste so much time choosing sides and you're right, I'm wrong. Yeah, I could go on for days.
I know, and I want to honor your time because I know we had originally only slated for 30 minutes. Are you doing well on time, my friend?
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes.
Okay, cool. So we'll wrap this up because it's always important to be respectful of the people that we engage with. Mindfulness. It's a beautiful thing.
Indeed. And it's such an honor to get to drop in with you today and share. It's always a pleasure. So continue following your highest excitement. I appreciate you creating this space to share and the work you're doing in the world and the therapy that you are so keen to with horses. Amazing stuff. They're just such beautiful creatures and so much wisdom for us to gain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate you and your time and all that you're doing to support the community. And it's been fun. It's been deep. It's been silly. All of the things that I love about life and engaging with good humans.
Yep. Like we always do about this time. If it's not fun, it's not sustainable. So
that's right.
Find a way to make it fun.
Find the levity, my friends. You got it in there. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. And thank you, Charles, again. And everybody, goodbye. And thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
All right. We stop.